Welcome back to my channel. My name is Lisa Jang, Yin Yoga and Myofascial release teacher, as well as trainer, as well as practitioner. Today, we will be covering a release through the deep hips and the psoas. What you'll need for today's practice is a yoga strap. You'll also need a couple of yoga blocks and, of course, your same size myofascial release balls. It will be a short practice, but also a really great one for the hips. Great after a run, a long day in the car, in commutes, even a long day, maybe on your feet. So let's start off with the strap and looping up your strap. So if you have one of these metal straps, you're going to take the free end of the strap through the two metal D-rings, like so. But you're not completely like that. So you're going to now take that strap up, over, and through. And you're going to have something that looks like this. Once you have that, give it a little tug and pull, and it's nice and secure to go. So you'll have that ready for the practice today, and you'll also need a couple blocks as well. So let's go ahead and begin. Grab your two blocks and start off with them. Sit on your blocks as you're here. So I'm going to sit back here so that we can see this on the lens of the camera. And grab your massage balls. For this one, you'll only need one massage ball. And we're starting off with a deep hip rotator release. This is a really great one. So just be mindful. What we're looking for is inside the sitting bone, okay? The ball is going to be placed, so the sitting bone is the bony part of your glutes. So go ahead and just palpate and feel for the sitting bone, that bony part of the glutes, right? Yeah, so you start to feel for that. And we want to go inside of the sitting bone, not on top of the sitting bone, but inside, not to the outside of it, but the inside. So as I bring my foot to the ground, my right foot is in a kind of a half squat position. My left leg is in a half butterfly position. I'm going to lean off to the side here and take that ball inside that sitting bone. And then slowly, and go slow, slowly start to shift your weight all the way onto that massage ball, okay? You're gonna discern how much pressure you need. So if it's too much, I'm just starting my timer now. If it's too much, you're going to lean away from the ball. If it's too little, you're gonna lean more of the weight towards the ball. Just see what works for you. And as you're here, you're going to start to maybe, as you settle in, clamshell this right leg. So start to move it in external rotation and then slowly back to center. And you'll find as you're there, you're starting to really get into those really deep hip rotators. So hopefully you can see that underneath here. I'm going to go ahead and turn around so that you can see it from behind, but go ahead and just stay where you're at. So as I'm here, right, I'm making sure that I have real estate in the block so the ball's not in the gap in the middle of the block. And I'm slowly, as I'm here, see it's inside the sitting bone. And I'm going to slowly start to sit on that massage ball and then work my leg in and out. Again, as you're there, discern how much you need. So we're not looking for too much, of course, not looking for nothing at all, but a little bit of that relief, that sensation of relief. Okay, so ease on in. This one is going to be a pretty deep release for a lot of us. So taking your time, you can stay still. Sometimes I'll do a little bit of a rotation towards that side, the upper body rotation, and just be curious what happens if I rotate the body, and I'll start to recruit different fibers in the really deep hip rotators. You can also gently rock from side to side. And you can see I'm doing this very, very slow with the intention to release really deep in the hip rotators. So take your time here, breathing in and gently breathing out. You're here for just a few more cycles of breath. Feel free to stay if this myofascial release is being really helpful for the side. Otherwise, as you're ready, go ahead and just pause there. Take a slow, deep in breath and a slow, deep out breath, softening around the belly, lower abdomen. And then, as you're ready, start to lean away from the ball. Take your time to release that massage ball and just notice how you feel. So I always like to do a little bit of measuring after. I like to be curious. So I'm going to turn towards the side so you can see on an angle. I always find that one leg, you can see here, is now a little bit longer than the other side. I'm noticing here that there's a little bit more mobility as I fold. But I'm also feeling a nice deep release right inside the area where we had placed the ball. It's a subtle warmth as well. So I'm sitting in the resonance of the myofascial release, and it's quite interesting, and it feels really relieving. I've been on the go quite a bit this week, and so releasing through the deep hip rotators really is helpful. So as you're ready, we're heading to our second side. So leaning towards your right side, and then take the ball right inside that left sitting bone. And then take your time as you're here. So 3 minutes on this side. And as you're here, you're going to slowly start to shift your weight onto that massage tool. You can kind of wriggle around a little bit, but go slow as you're wriggling around. And then as you're here, once again, when your body is ready, you can add that subtle clamshell, reverse clamshell movement here. And it doesn't need to be a big movement where the thigh comes all the way down. In fact, it won't come all the way down. But you're gently moving it into a different rotation, external rotation here. And then slowly taking it back to center. Let this right thigh simply relax in towards that half butterfly pose as you start to investigate what's going on the second side. Discerning if it's too much, leaning away, if it's too little, leaning towards, maybe rotating the upper body, staying in sustained compression, and breathing in towards the really deep hip rotators. Now, one thing I also like to do is sometimes I'll do a little bit of a subtle pelvic tilt. Go slow. I kind of tilt the pelvis, almost like a tailbone tuck. And then I slowly come into that anterior pelvic tilt where I'm kind of pulling the sit bones a little bit back and apart. Again, as you're here, a little bit of posterior pelvic tilt and a little bit of anterior pelvic tilt, which starts to, again, get into the different fibers a little bit differently and see if that resonates with you. Or again, once again, staying still, breathing, noticing. And take one more slow, deep in breath. And as you breathe out, slowly start to pause, taking your time to release the pose, leaning towards your right side, reaching down for that massage ball, and then taking your time here. Oh, that one was a spicy one. And again, you can bring your legs forward. I like to do that off the blocks, and noticing here, wow, that was a beautiful release. From here, we're heading into our supine hamstring pose. Now to release into the back of the legs. So as you're ready, take your strap. And today we're going to take it up and over our torso. As you have it up underneath your torso, you want it high as opposed to down here. Just have it high so that you can pin the strap down between your upper back and the floor. Take a moment there to lay on down onto your back. And then take your right foot into the strap. And you may want to do a little bit of myofascial release in your bottoms of your feet, the plantar fascia, by scrubbing the strap up and down the sole of your foot. See how that feels. I wouldn't go vigorously. You don't want to create too much heat, but just enough to feel that kind of a scrubbing of the tissues. You can come onto the knife edge part of your foot here if you like. You come to the inner arch of your foot as you're here. You might focus on the heel, again, choosing what works for you. Then when you're ready, we're going to come into a pausing and making sure that the strap, the free end of the strap, is proximal towards your hand. So I had to kind of wiggle around there so that I can tighten it where it feels like my Goldilocks. So I want you to find your Goldilocks in your supine hamstring pose, what works best for you. And then discern as you're here, maybe you want to keep that left leg bent, or maybe you start to extend that left leg forward. If it's still too much for you, remember just to soften the knee a little bit so that you're not over working into this pose, or if you're coming to that more fuller range, right? You're more so specifically targeting the muscle. I'm looking to try to get more of the yin tissue here, so I'm not coming to my fullest hamstring stretch. You can also, if you'd like, depending on your mobility, is take that block right underneath your sacrum, that heart-shaped bone behind your pelvis. And from there, this might be a little bit more accessible for you, for your hamstring pose. Okay, see what works best for you as you're here. Or this might be something that adds a little bit more. So it could be here, maybe it helps more of the restricted mobility in the hamstring, bringing your leg up. Or maybe you want to add a little bit of hip flexor. Now, because your hips are the apex of the pose, and you have that mobility, as you extend this left leg, now just look, as you're here, you're getting in towards that left hip flexor. So I'm going to stay here because I find it quite nice to work both at the same time, the back of the leg as well as that left hip flexor. Make sure you're feeling secure as you're here. And again, once again, just close your eyes. Take that slow deep in breath. And that slow deep out breath. Really allowing the tension to unravel around all those tissues. Take about 2 more cycles of breath there. And as you're ready, take your time to rebend your left leg so the sole of the foot comes back onto the earth. And then releasing your right leg from the strap and taking this beautiful pause, the rebound, the resonance. As you're here, just notice the energy running back down that right leg. The sensations down the back of your right leg, the hamstrings, the calves maybe. Noticing the left hip flexor if you took that supported bridge variation with the hips up. Again, just notice as you're here. Feel free to gently sway the thigh bones from side to side. And as you're ready, we're heading to side number 2. So like we did on side number 1, we're going to do a little bit of plantar fascia release. So take the strap over your left foot. And again, you're going to scrub that fascia from the heel all the way up towards the ball of your foot. You can come onto the knife edge part of your foot there. You can come to the inner arch of your foot. Doing a little bit of internal rotation there. Eversion and inversion of the foot. Again, let this feel good for that plantar fascia. And then, right, as you're ready, we're heading to our second side. So I'm giving myself a little bit of a release here because I always like to feel after I scrub the foot like that, what it ignited, right? There's now a deeper connection, mind-body connection to that specific area. When you're ready, take your left foot in the strap and then discern if you need a little bit more slack. So I'm finding on this side, it's a bit much. So I'm going to give my fabric a little bit more fabric on the strap as I'm here so that my left leg doesn't feel like it's overdoing those tissues. And once again, we're spending about 3 minutes here. Start off with that left foot down towards the ground, left knee facing up towards the sky, and become aware of the back of your left leg. The hamstrings, the popliteal fossa, the soft tissue behind the knee, the calf, the Achilles, the calcaneus, all the way towards the fascia of the foot, towards your toe tips. Take a slow deep in breath and a slow deep out breath. Stay or slowly start to slide your right leg forward to add a little bit of eustress or healthy stress along the front of your right leg. Notice here with my right leg, I'm not flexing or pointing the foot. I'm not engaging that right thigh. I'm allowing that right leg to soften, to allow it to turn either in or out naturally. So I can really just focus more on the yin tissues of that hip. Palms can face up or down, allowing the upper back and the head to be supported by the floor underneath you. Taking a slow, deep inhale through your nose and a slow, deep exhale out through the lips. And allow that breath to weave through all the areas that feel blocked in your body. I'm noticing a little bit more of this stagnation around the lateral portion of my hamstring, closer towards the sitting bone area. So I'm allowing my breath and the energy awareness to head in towards that specific area. So what will it be for you? What specific area will it be for you where you can send that breath energy? Take one more slow, deep in breath and a slow, deep out breath. As you're ready, slowly slide that right leg, right foot back in. Grab your strap and take your time to release that left leg all the way down towards the earth. Pausing there and feeling that rush of energy all the way down the leg towards your foot. I'm feeling a cooling sensation. I'm feeling that energy running down through my leg. Feels really interesting. So I'm going to wiggle my toes here, feeling the rebound, allowing my mind's eye to delight in that rebound. I'm going to open, spread my toes wide, and slowly allow my feet to touch the earth, and noticing that there's already a deeper awareness in towards the sole of my feet, my hips, the back of my legs. As you're ready, press your feet into the ground if you have that block underneath you. Bridge the hips up just enough to slowly release that block and bring your hips all the way down towards the earth. When you're ready, windshield wipe your legs from side to side. As you're ready, roll toward your side and gently find your way all the way up into a seat. Take your time to release the strap. And so for our next release, we're heading into our tensor fascia lata, or TFL. So go ahead and bring your legs forward and feel for your frontal hip points. So that's the bony part of the front of the hips there. That's the anterior superior iliac spine. You're going to take your fingers down about 1.5 inches and wide about 1.5 inches, right? So it's not in the hip creases, but above the iliotibial band, and you can think of maybe pockets that you would have in a baggy jeans. So where your fingers are, go ahead and press into that lightly and begin to turn your legs in and out as you're here. And then kind of palpate and feel around. You're going to feel that muscle, that TFL, start to pop out. You feel that? So that's where the massage balls are going to go. So you can use one. Today I'm deciding to use 2 in the toes. And I'm going to place that ball first on the right side where my fingers are, where you palpated and felt. So coming to a almost prone position, it's going to be a little bit sideways. So you'll see as we come on down onto the earth. Move your props aside, have the blocks ready if you need that. Coming into a sideline position And as you're here, I'm going to move my necklace away from the microphone. I'm going to take the massage balls in towards that TFL area. And I'm going to roll as I'm here into half frog, half sphinx. And I'm not all the way prone. I'm a little bit more of this angle as I'm here. So more sideways, but not all the way sideways. And as you're here, you're going to slowly tuck your toes, your right toe, and kind of wiggle around as you're here, discerning what works best for you. If it's too much to be on your forearm, on your elbow, for your shoulder, take your block or even a pillow just underneath the side of your ribs as you're here. That way it takes some of the load off that shoulder. I usually like to use a pillow, but I don't have one today. And then from here, bend your right knee if it's not too much. Otherwise, you can take that right leg and just extend it. If it's still too much, you can also, as you're here, put a blanket or some sort of face towel on top of the massage ball so it's not so intense. It will blunt some of the sensations. So if you're looking for a little bit more, you're going to bend that right knee and then windshield wiper your right leg slowly from side to side, really specifically getting into that tensor fascia lata. Breathing in and gently breathing out. Again, discern as you're here if it's too much for you. And discern as you're here if you need that extra support. You can come all the way down as you're here. You can let your head rest onto an extra block if you have one, or a pillow. Again, a little bit more of an angle to get that TFL. Now, you may want to come onto more of the quads, which is fine. You can roll a little bit more prone, and that's okay as well. And again, try to avoid that hip crease because that tissue is a lot more sensitive, is less dense. So we never want to use hard tools in that area. You've got another minute here to go. So again, breathe into this one. This can be really intense. Breathing in. And then gently breathing out. Soften around that right shoulder. Soften around that right leg, that TFL. And then we're just going to take about 3 more cycles of breath there. You might feel as you're here something release even more around the hips, around the thighs. And as you're ready, slowly start to press into your left hand. Take your time as you're here. I like to straighten out that left leg and roll onto that left side. Taking a moment here to release and coming with a Sphinx pose. Sphinx pose is going to be your rebounds. So as you're here, breathe in towards that right side of the body where the massage balls were. Deep in breath, and slow deep out breath. Again, I love Sphinx pose as a rebound, but it's also really therapeutic for the lumbar, for those that maybe have anything discogenic, meaning a disc herniation or even a bulging disc. Now, if you do have something like maybe spondylolisthesis, you may want to avoid this entirely and just come laying down into your belly. Again, every back condition is very, very different. So there's specific things that are contraindicated. So always, as always, especially for any practice, you want to consult your PCP, your primary care physician. As you're ready, we're heading to our second side. And so I'm going to turn towards the other side, but go ahead and take your massage balls, again, to that TFL area. I'm going to take my blocks there. So I'm still facing the camera. And again, we're coming not all the way prone, meaning face down, and we're not all the way sideways like so. We're about that 45 degree. So as you're ready, go ahead and take that massage balls right at that TFL area, and then slowly sliding your right thigh up as you're here. Go ahead, breathing. Again, this one can be quite intense. Tucking that left toe. And again, you notice I'm kind of moving a little bit up and down. I'm not looking for a big movement, but a little bit of rolling and discerning what specific area is right for me. And again, maybe using that block to support you underneath. You can put a blanket on top here. You can also, I prefer a bolster, but I'm going to take what I have as a blanket here on top of the block, so I have a little bit of cushioning. And on this one, I like to come on the elbow. Again, you can use the block for your head. And then when your body is ready, if it's ready, you don't have to do this, but slowly start to bend your left knee. Gently windshield wiper that left leg from side to side. Breathing in and gently breathing out. Soften around that left shoulder. And soften around that left leg. Allowing the tissues to really melt into the tools. You'll find one side is very different from the other side, and know that that's okay. Just see if you can rest into the experience without any judgment, and more so curiosity. And taking a few more cycles of breath there. And as you're ready, you're going to slowly start to open your eyes. Take your time to press yourself away from the balls. Roll towards that right side. And once again, take that rebound, whether it's laying prone on your belly or coming to Sphinx pose. Just notice as you hear those hips. I can even still feel a little bit of resonance from doing the strap fascial rub of the plantar fascia. That feels quite nice. So again, Sphinx pose here is your yin pose. Otherwise, you can also lay prone, your head, back your hands. Again, come to the degree that works for you. Let your head hang here. Turn your head from side to side. This will be our final yin posture. Breathe into your low back. Breathe into your hips. Breathe into your legs.
As you're ready, find your way into Shavasana, final rest and relaxation. Really finding a comfortable position on your back. Maybe a block for behind your head. And really taking your time here to rest. Maybe coming to constructive rest. And then taking your hands on your abdomen. And then breathing into your hands. Gently close your eyes. And then take a slow, deep inhale through your nose. Feeling your belly rise. As you breathe out, feeling your belly fall and retreat back to center. Again, breathing in and feeling that diaphragm press down, creating more space for your lungs. And as you breathe out, feeling the diaphragm come back to its beautiful dome-like shape as you empty out the air completely. Breathing in expansion, spaciousness. Breathing out, allowing everything, your belly, your abdomen to recoil, recoil, recoil. Breathing in again. And gently breathing out. Feel that deep belly breath. Feel the spaciousness. That spaciousness allows you to soften even more through your shoulders, your neck, your jaw. Each exhale, you start to feel any residue of tension start to dissipate. Breathing in, deep belly breath. Breathing out, unforced, natural with ease. Start to shift your awareness back into the room, the sounds around the room. And start to shift your awareness in towards the temperature around the room. Notice the skin that's exposed to the air. Does it feel warm? Does it feel cool? And start to shift your awareness into the props underneath you that is supporting your entire body. The floor, the mat, the blanket, the block. And finally, start to shift your awareness in towards your body, back into your body, your precious body. Feel your hands again rise and fall as you take that deep in breath and a slow deep out breath. When you're ready, slowly start to move, releasing your hands away from your body. Gently start to extend your legs long. Extend your arms long behind you. Take this big stretch, big body stretch. Point flex your feet, roll the wrists. Yawn if you like. Breathe in. And gently breathe out. When you're ready, slowly start to one by one bend your knees and roll towards your left side. Let your left arm be a pillow for your head, or maybe that block or pillow that was behind your head stays behind your head as you shuffle it towards the left side. Taking a moment here, setting the tone for the rest of your day, the rest of your week, maybe the rest of your evening. Taking a slow deep in breath and slow deep out breath. When you're ready, only when you're ready, gently press yourself all the way up. Feel free to stay in your Shavasana or your side lying fetal position for a little bit longer if you need to. As you're ready, this is where I leave you. Leave you in Shavasana or slowly meeting me in an easy seated posture, sitting up nice and tall. Take a couple shoulder rolls, forward, back. Tilt your head from side to side. And as you're ready, slowly sweep your arms all the way up. And as you exhale, take your hands towards your heart space. Bow your head towards your heart of hearts. Take a moment here to honor yourself today for slowing down this beautiful gift of practice, of connecting to inner self, to connecting to you, to cultivating a better relationship with yourself, taking care of yourself so that you in turn can be fully present for the people that you love. As always, the inner light in me honors the universe that shines in all of you, where there's so much truth, love, light, authenticity. To the space in each one of you, I honor and I bow to. Thank you all for joining me today. And thank you so much to Joya Yoga for allowing me to use their space, for allowing me to have so many opportunities to share this practice. And thank you to you for spending time on you and for subscribing to this channel.